Let's be real. If you're a roofer, your website should be your #1 salesperson, bringing in leads 24/7. In this explainer, we're going to lay out the exact blueprint to make that happen, especially if you're trying to stand out in a crowded, competitive city.
So, first question, is your website actually leaking customers? Think about it this way. A bad website is just like a leaky roof for your business. It might look fine on the surface, but you're losing money and opportunities with every single visitor. And in the high-stakes world of roofing, that's a leak you just can't afford to ignore.
And here's why this is so critical. The people finding you online aren't just browsing for fun. They've got an urgent problem, a leak, storm damage, something serious. They need help, and they need it now. Google totally understands this, which is why it rewards businesses that prove they're local, trustworthy, and ready to help. It's not just about fancy keywords. It's about proving you're the real deal.
So to build a website that Google trusts and that customers love, we're going to treat it just like a construction project. We'll start by pouring a solid technical foundation. Then we'll frame it out for your ideal customer, build unshakable local trust, establish you as the go-to authority, and finally, we'll wrap it all up in your complete ranking blueprint.
Okay, first things first, pouring that solid foundation. You would never ever build a house on shaky ground, right? Well, the exact same principle applies to your website. This is all about the technical behind-the-scenes stuff that makes all the difference in the world.
And it really boils down to 3 absolute non-negotiables. 1, your site has to load fast. 2, it has to be perfectly mobile-friendly. And 3, it needs to pass what Google calls its core web vitals. That's just a fancy way of saying your site feels smooth and stable to a user. It doesn't have stuff jumping all over the page as it loads. Just picture that homeowner standing in their yard after a storm, looking up a roofer on their phone. If your site doesn't load instantly, you've already lost them.
And when you put it side by side like this, the difference is just night and day. A fast site screams professional and trustworthy. A slow site, well, it just sends that panicked homeowner straight to your competitor's website. It really is that simple.
Okay, so our foundation is poured and solid. What's next? It's time to put up the frame. And in the website world, the frame is all about your content and how you structure your pages to perfectly match what your customers are actually searching for.
And this is what that framing looks like in the real world. This is where so many roofers get it wrong. You need specific, individual pages for every single service you offer. Not just one page, but dedicated pages for things like emergency roofing, metal roofing, and, this is crucial, location-specific pages like Parramatta Roof Repair. This tells Google you are the expert for that specific service in that specific area.
So let me just say this as clearly as I can. Having a single generic Our Services page is a death sentence in a competitive market. It is just not specific enough to even stand a chance against the companies that have built out pages for every service and suburb they cover. It's a really common and very costly mistake. All right, the foundation is solid, the frame is up, and now it's time for the digital curb appeal. This is all about making your business look trustworthy and incredibly easy to find online, just like a clean truck and a big clear sign on a physical storefront.
A huge piece of this puzzle comes down to a little acronym you absolutely need to know. NAP. It stands for name, address, and phone number. See, Google looks at your business info across dozens of websites and online directories. If your NAP is perfectly consistent everywhere, that's a massive trust signal for them. But if it's different, well, that raises red flags and can seriously hurt your rankings.
Now, you know what builds trust faster than almost anything else? Proof that other people already trust you. And that's exactly what online reviews are. They are your digital word of mouth, showing both Google and new customers that you do great work and that the local community stands behind you.
And don't just take my word for it. This quote absolutely nails it. Focusing on getting a steady, consistent flow of real, genuine reviews can actually boost your rankings faster than a lot of the technical, on-page stuff you could do. It's one of the highest impact things you can focus on, period.
Okay, we are in the final stage of the build now. This is where we go from just being another roofer online to becoming the undisputed local authority. It's all about proving to Google that you're not just an option, you're the most knowledgeable, respected expert in your entire service area.
So the big question is, how do you actually do that? How do you prove your expertise? Well, it all starts with the information you're willing to share. What kind of content truly builds that kind of authority in the eyes of Google and your customers?
Well, here's your answer. You stop selling and you start helping. You create genuinely useful content that solves real problems for homeowners. Think about it. Practical guides comparing tile versus metal. an emergency checklist for what to do after a big storm, or a simple article showing the telltale signs of roof decay. When you help people understand their problem, you become the one they trust to fix it. The other half of this authority puzzle is something called backlinks. Honestly, the easiest way to think about them is as votes of confidence from other websites. When another reputable website links to your site, they're basically vouching for you. They're telling Google, hey, this business is legit, they're established, and you should trust them. But here's the catch. Not all votes are created equal. You want links from relevant and trusted sources. We're talking about local business directories, construction industry blogs, maybe a little feature in the local newspaper, or even links from the suppliers and other partners you work with. Quality over quantity is absolutely the name of the game here. And just like that, the build is complete. We've gone from the foundation to the framing all the way to the finishing touches that establish your reputation. So now, let's step back and look at the whole thing, your complete blueprint for ranking your roofing website.
Here it is, the whole game plan in 5 straightforward steps. Number 1, build that fast, mobile-ready technical foundation. 2, frame your site with specific, localized service pages. 3, build that crucial trust with consistent business details and a steady flow of reviews. 4, become the go-to authority by publishing genuinely helpful content. And finally, number 5, solidify that authority by earning high-quality, relevant backlinks.
Look, the key here isn't to get overwhelmed and try to do everything at once. It's about having a solid plan and then laying one brick at a time, correctly. So, as you look at this blueprint, the real question for you is, what's the very first brick you're going to lay for your website's future?